Hello, everyone. This is Dino Chris from Prehistoric Facts, and this is Prehistoric Facts special episode number 206. We're going to be talking about a mammal today. So we're going to have two mammals for the month of May, because since that, why not call it Mammalian May? And so, anyway, the mammal that we're going to be talking about today is Miohippus. And so this is an artist's illustration of what Miohippus possibly looked like. And so I'll go over a little bit more in detail of the anatomy of the bits of anatomy of Miohippus in a couple slides. So let's actually keep going, shall we? So the name Miohippus, it means small horse. The length is 4 feet or 1.2 meters. Weight is 50 to 75 pounds. It lived 32 to 25 million years ago in the Eocene to Oligocene epochs. And the fossils are found in North America and was described by Othniel Charles Marsh in 1874. So right around the peak of the Bone Wars. And so, yeah, that's when it was described. Othniel Charles Marsh. And so in this map here, we got the map of North America. Now, I am going to highlight here for you guys of where Miohippus fossils have been found. So Miohippus fossils have been found in this province of Canada, Alberta, Canada, and also fossils have been found from Florida all the way over to California for Miohippus. But Miohippus fossils have been found of also in like Wyoming, South Dakota, Nebraska, Colorado, Utah. I mean, you name it. So from Florida all the way up, and that's where you're going to get it. Where you're going to get these those fossils from Miohippus. And here's a skeleton of Miohippus. This is from the Florida Museum of Natural History, and so you can see some bits here of the skeleton. I could not find a size chart of Miohippus, so this is the best picture I can get of a Miohippus skeleton. And so anyway, let's actually continue. Let's talk about bits of anatomy here. More information about Miohippus. It is part of the Perissodactyla or Perissodactyls, and the Perissodactyls, for many of you that need to know this, Perissodactyls are mammals, hoofed mammals. They actually have odd number amounts of toes on all of their feet. So, like say 1, 3, and 5. So these are hoofed mammals that actually have 1, 3, or 5 hooves on their feet. Whereas the artiodactyls, they have even number toes for their hooves. So 2, 4, mainly just 4, and 2 and 4. And so yeah, and so it is. So Miohippus belongs to the Perissodactyls, the odd-toed mammals, odd hoof-toed mammals, and is part of the horse family of Equidae. So it is a type of horse, and so that's why it was called small horse. It is a relative of horses. In that previous picture near the beginning, you kind of saw it did look like a horse. But the thing is that Miohippus is one of the smaller horses that were around in the Eocene and Oligocene, but it is not the smallest of all the horses. It is considered to be maybe third or fourth to the size chart when you go from small to big. So first is the small, second is the second smallest, third and fourth is where you're probably going to possibly be with Miohippus. And anyway, Miohippus has 3-toed hooves, so it has 3 toes on all of its limbs, on all 4 of its limbs, and so odd number amount of toes, and it could reach top speeds of 30 plus miles per hour, so 30 miles per hour or a little bit more. And of course, like all horses, it is a herbivore. The environment in which Miohippus lived in would have been warm and somewhat dry. There was forests and prairies, and so that means with the types of plants that are around, there were trees, ferns, cycads, flowers, and grass. So you have plants that that were around that were very, very similar to what we have today. And of course, that there was plenty of rivers, lakes, and ponds that were around in its environment. Other types of animals would have been insects, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and of course, all other types of mammals. And so, and you kind of see that at the bottom part here, it's kind of weird to see like no like pterosaurs or dinosaurs, even though birds are considered avian dinosaurs. So, but birds is what we're going to have to go with for mammals from now on in this month. But anyway, I guess I should continue on. Let's talk about the predators. Now, the predators for Miohippus, there would have been plenty of predators around. There would have been uh, the predator Hyaenodon. So Hyaenodon would have actually been able to feast upon Miohippus. And of course, the false saber-toothed cats like Denictus and Hoplophonius. Those would have been very, very well known at that point in time. These false cats, or these mainly I'll just call them false cats. These false cats, these saber-toothed false cats, were around at that point in time, and it would have been a pretty good meal for those two. And of course, Archaeotherium, the what is known the hell pig. But even though there's a debate of whether or not the entomodonts were part of the pig family or not, and they're kind of more closely related to hippos now, according to the evidence. But that's still in here. But Archaeotherium would still have been feasting upon Miohippus. And I do want to point out, I should have mentioned this in the more information, is that when Othniel Charles Marsh discovered this animal, he named it Miohippus because he thought it lived in the Miocene. But really, at that point in time, how they were able to read rocks back then was not very well done at that point in time. And so it was actually very, very difficult for geologists at that point in time to age these rocks properly, because they didn't have the technology back then to be able to tell how old these fossils really were. And so Marsh kind of made that mistake of not knowing how old these animals really were, how old the fossils of Miohippus really were. And it wasn't until many, many, many years later is when it was like, oh no, this animal lived in the Eocene and Oligocene. And so, yep. And so, anyway, and there you got the list of predators right here: Hyaenodon, Denictus, Hoplophonius, and Archaeotherium. The extinction of Miohippus was mostly due to climate change. The temperatures were dropping at that point in time in the Oligocene, so things are starting to get really dry, and of course, more open habitat, more prairie habitat was starting to happen, because there was many types of Miohippus around. There was the prairie version of Miohippus, which continued on the legacy of the horses ultimately until we get to the horses that we get today. And then you had the forest version of Miohippus, and the forest version of Miohippus went extinct much quicker because with the loss of that type of habitat, there was no way for it to survive. And so, yeah, the forest living Miohippus died out a lot quicker. And so, the more open habitat there was, the better chances for like other types of mammals to be able to take over the niche of where Miohippus took place. And so the bigger horses came around and got bigger and taller, mostly taller and faster. And of course, the predators were becoming a lot stronger and faster. And so that's how Miohippus was also able to go extinct as well. But mostly climate change. The temperatures were continuing to drop, and the more open habitat was actually happening. And so this is the best image I could find of the Eocene around this particular kind of time. And so North America right here, you can actually see it almost looks like North America today, but Florida is completely submerged underwater, and you don't see the Great Lakes in the Midwest here for the United States. And so those were not around at that point in time. And so North America just looks like it's just a big hunk on landmass without any of the water features that we see in the upper Midwest and so on. But yeah, this is the best image I could find of the Eocene, and this is the best one I could find. So couldn't find one that was like say 30 million years old, that was saying 30 million years ago. And so the next episode, May 18th, 2023, that will be an extra episode, and that will be a continuation of the Extinction Profile episodes, and that will be Extinction Profile number 2. We're talking about the Devonian extinction. So we're going to the Devonian, talking about what happened for this extinction, what kind of animals were affected, and also what did it do to the environment going forward. And so, yeah, we're going to talk about the Devonian next week for the extinction profile. But you can still send me questions about dinosaurs and other prehistoric life by emailing me at dinochrist71@gmail.com, or just go on my Facebook page, Prehistoric Facts of Dino Chris. Like the page, yes, you post your questions in the comment section. Please put them in the comment section. Don't put them on Messenger. Messenger is for private conversations. So please put your questions in the comment section in the Facebook page. And for YouTubers out there, like the video, subscribe to the channel. It's very important now to like the videos now, because according to the algorithm, many of you guys that are checking out my channel are not subscribed yet, so please hit that subscribe button and also hit that like button. And the more likes these videos get, the more they get spread out to people that are interested in dinosaurs and other prehistoric life, paleontology, geology in general. And so that way it gets spread out to a wider distribution of people. And also hit that bell to get notified of every weekly video that comes out. And also for your YouTubers out there, feel free to leave your questions in the comment section, because I do read them all. Your questions do mean a lot on the Q&A episodes. And all of you that are sending me questions via email, Facebook, and YouTube, you guys are awesome. You give me some great questions. So keep up the good work, and make sure you keep your questions short to the point. You can also follow me on Instagram at dino.chris.pf. I post pretty cool stuff on there. You can also follow me on Twitter at CSGRALL. That's my Twitter page. I post pretty cool stuff on there as well. Also, take care of people around you. And also for you younger people out there, to make sure listening, your parents, your teachers, and your guardians, it's the best motivation you could have for good education. It's very important to have a good education. So with a good education, you get a good job in the future. That's it for now, and I'll see you guys next time.